This is Hank reporting from Kyiv, and this is my update on Russian-Ukrainian war. Let's see what happened around Ukraine in the last 24 hours. Kyiv Offline. 60 soldiers captured. Chancellor's bold decision. Soldiers demand ban on Russian church. Oil prices down. Today, Kyiv and other cities of Ukraine have been offline for a long time, around 6 hours in a row. Unfortunately, our electricity supply system has suffered so much that even the total economy cannot save us from the overload. I reviewed the number of megawatts we use and how many are needed in the previous video on the 2nd of June. This is terribly inconvenient because now all work schedules and plans need to be changed, but if I can write on laptop or iPhone, then many people are in much more difficult situations. I hope that critical infrastructure facilities have enough electricity. Imagine that a surgical operation could be interrupted because of Russians destroyed another power plant. It is literally a matter of life and death in the hospitals if they don't have a reliable generator. And at the same time, information appeared that Estonia would transfer the power unit of the Over power plant to Ukraine to overcome the consequences of Russian attacks, said Ukrainian Foreign Minister Kuleba. This power plant unit is capable of providing electricity to about 150,000 Ukrainians. Once again, I'm very grateful to the Estonians who provide us with incredible support. You know, unlike Russians who are sure that there are only enemies around their country plus important Belarus, I can say that Ukraine is as lucky with its neighbors as it is unlucky to be close to Russia. Of course, in the history of a country there are always situations when neighbors can even fight, but adequate people will always find a common language even if they have different cultures. Thanks to everyone who is helping us survive now. On Sunday, June 2nd, the Ukrainian armed forces captured 60 Russian soldiers in the north near Vovchansk, where our counteroffensive is currently taking place. This is actually a big deal, and it also confirms the rumors that in this direction Russia has concentrated the majority of mobilized units with poor training and low morale. If we take this as a maneuver to stretch our forces away from the main directions like the Donetsk region and the south, then it makes sense. If you imagine that those mobilized with a month of training had to go through all the lines of defense and capture the large city of Kharkiv, then this is a stupid idea. Unfortunately, in this direction, a number of our soldiers were captured and humiliated by Russians. I will not attach the video, but you can find it online by searching Russians torture Ukrainian soldiers captured in Kharkiv region. This is an unpleasant sight, and of course it pains me to see how our defenders suffer. I really hope that they will not be killed and sent for exchange soon. German Chancellor Olaf Scholz has finally made up his mind and stated that he doesn't believe the ability to strike targets on Russian territory with weapons supplied by Germany will lead to escalation. Hallelujah! As the US President said, we are only talking about the ability to protect a big city, for example Kharkiv, he said on the radio station Antin Bayern. I'm grateful for this opportunity. It's a pity that it took you 2 full years and so many dead Ukrainians and destroyed houses to allow us to fight back. Imagine if we could attack Russian troops at our border before they crossed it. Wouldn't it be wonderful? We would have saved so much time, expensive German equipment, and saved so many lives if world leaders have been braver. Many Ukrainian soldiers supported a flash mob demanding that the Ukrainian parliament, which we call the Verkhovna Rada, which means Supreme Council, officially banned the Russian Orthodox Church in Ukraine. For those who do not know the context, in Ukraine there are many churches. People literally have the right to freely worship their gods, and the official church, the Orthodox Church of Ukraine, also has a branch of the Russian Orthodox Church which reports directly to priests who are in Moscow. If you ask me what kind of insanity this is to go to church of your enemies during a war, so now, in addition to the war on the front line, Ukraine is fighting so that all Orthodox churches officially submit to the state church and not to the church of the occupiers. For me as a person who doesn't go to church, this sounds strange, and the simplest solution seems to be to ban all the enemy churches so that priests do not spread Russian narratives. But in practice, a huge number of people simply do not want to change their habits and continue to go to Russian churches that pay tribute to Moscow. Someone might start talking nonsense about oppression and so on. What kind of oppression can be there during a war when Russians are killing your people? Connect the dots already. I will leave a link to an English language investigation called Frolov Leaks, which tells in details about how the Russian FSB through the Russian Church does its dirty deeds in Ukraine. Write in the comments if you want me to make a video on this topic. When Ukraine began to massively attack Russian refineries, Americans were worried about gasoline prices. In reality, oil reached its 4-month low, falling below $77 per barrel. This is not directly related to the Russian refineries, it just happened. OPEC decided not to cut production, leaving quotas the same. In short, there is the same amount of oil in the market, but demand has fallen. Moreover, analysts at the Swiss banking group Julius Baer predict a further decline in prices down to $70 per barrel, although they admit that the geopolitics may take adjustments, which is rather a plus for the American budget and minus for the Russian budget. I will also repeat once again, attacks on refineries only mean that Russia will not be able to have gasoline and diesel, but can still export crude oil, and there are more than enough refineries in the world. Russia is simply losing the margin for processing. Roughly speaking, a gold ring is worth more than a pile of gold chips. I was in a hurry to make this video in 3 hours. I had electricity and internet. Sorry if this is a bit superficial, but I don't want to disrupt the schedule. I'll try to find more time for these videos. Write in the comments if you're interested and it's worth doing. Unfortunately, sometimes there is simply not enough time to do everything. This was my update on the Russian-Ukrainian war for day number 832. Thanks for watching, take care and see you tomorrow.